And you can see this screen? Like,
Yes, I can see it clear.
okay, good. Is it big on your end?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. All right. Well, welcome. Good morning. Today's class is going to cover the standard fire policy. Now, if you're new, tell me what you know about insurance. That way I can kind of know what I need to dig into more or not.
With insurance, I know it's mainly like a lengthy process, but it actually helps the customer out in the end. And it's all about ways around it and different things around it that can help you as well.
Give a little more detail about those ways around it. What was that?
Um, because I know we had a little thing with John, I think, and he was just saying that we will learn a lot about like how to file and who we should file through, which ones are the safest, like as far as like community and
Mhm.
like private insurance like companies and stuff. Like we
Okay, so you started with Metro Public Adjustment.
yes, that's who I got through with.
Gotcha. Nice. And on the public adjuster side, that is correct. But it's not when you say ways around it, it almost sounds schemish, ways
Um,
around it, cutting corners. It's a very highly regulated industry that you can't cut corners. And the truth is, they'll only pay what is owed, and they're not going to pay a dime more. If they don't owe it, they won't pay it. But if it's owed, they'll pay it, and the public adjuster will maximize how much that pay is. If it's the whole amount, they'll try to get the whole amount. On the insurance adjuster side, their goal is to minimize claims. That way, they make a bigger profit. And
okay.
the class you'll watch tonight talks about that. Okay, so but insurance is what we're going to learn about in this class. So today we're just going to talk about the standard fire policy, like the one that started it all. Insurance works, how it works, and how the company is indemnified in policies and contracts. All right, the standard fire policy, it's no longer used, but it's the foundation. That's going to pop up in your exam, just like what was the original, and it's the one line 165. Line 165. Okay, now let's see what's next. See, there it is. The standard fire policy 165 line. The original standard fire policy spent 165 lines explaining new insurance concepts that are still used today. But the important part there is the 165. All right, so these are those concepts: concealment and misrepresentation. For concealment, that is again when people think about those ways around it. Remember when you were talking about that, Kadisha?
Yes.
Those ways. So concealment and misrepresentation. Misrepresentation would be if you put for your boyfriend that's living with you, if you put it's your husband instead, right? Because there's different
Yeah.
ties there, right? So
Yeah.
then you also have if you do concealment, you have where you're just concealing the fact that you even have a baby. Like, oh, it's just
Mhm.
us two, or like when she turns six, is it a daughter?
Yes, she's a
Okay.
daughter.
So when she's turned 16 and she starts driving, right? And you're like, oh no, she's not driving, to keep the insurance rate down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's concealment. We have somebody joining us, I think.
Okay.
Um, and then I'm gonna go through. Let me see if I'm gonna to add them in. Make sure it's not a student. Good morning, 412. Good morning, 412.
Oh, good morning. How are you? I'm sorry, I had
Hi.
problems.
You have what?
I said I had problems logging
Oh, okay.
um, on my
Zoom does
computer.
that. Gotcha, gotcha. Now you're on your phone, so you're not able to see the slides, or can you?
I'm not able to see anything.
Oh, okay. Or is it because the phone or?
Um, what do I need to do to see a slide?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, we just started the property and casualty 40-hour training. So what's your name, love?
Renee Devon,
Renee Devon. Did you
the
have the 40-hour course yet?
the course.
Yeah, the 40-hour course.
Um, I've had insurance license before. I'm on the process of like renewal.
Okay, let's do this, love. Let's try to reconvene at 9 o'clock. Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Use the same link, okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Now, we were talking about concealment and misrepresentation. I'm gonna have to cut that out now that I think about it. So, no more interruptions. All right, so we have excluded property and perils. Not everything can be insured, or you have to purchase an endorsement that will allow you to add it. For example, do you have renters insurance or do you have car insurance?
Yes, I have renters and car.
Okay, so for your renter's insurance, your car will be excluded from
Hmm.
that policy. So if, for example, if your car was stolen in your neighborhood,
Hmm.
now in your um renter's policy, some things like theft or storm damage, water,
Hmm.
accidents, those
Hmm.
are perils, and those are a part of your policy. They can be covered.
Okay.
All right, next you'll have increasing hazards cancellation. And cancellations. It's hazards and cancellations. So remember, I'm designing this, so we're going over it together.
Okay.
Hazards and cancellations. Okay. Hazards are what can make something more dangerous. For example, with hazards, you have a phone that you leave in the car, right?
Hmm.
That would be an example of a hazard. Why? Because somebody might steal it. Actually, a hazard would more be like parking in a bad neighborhood, really, because the risk actually increases. A hazard would be like having a pool but no fence. That would be a
Yeah.
hazard. Cancellations. So you'll go more into cancellation in depth on the America's Professor program, okay,
Hmm.
as well as kind of obligations to the mortgagee. You may not go over it today, but quickly put, homeowners have mortgages, and because it's borrowed money, a lot of it they are co-owners of those houses. So it's
Okay.
they're the mortgagee, the mortgage companies. Insurance
Mhm.
obligation after a loss. So really, in not insurance obligations after a loss, it should be duties after a loss.
Okay.
The duties after a loss. And then you have a subrogation, which is if, let's say your dishwasher maker is Kenmore,
Mhm.
And for some reason the Kenmore part needed to be recalled, like it was breaking and it caused damage to a house that you own, you would want
Mhm.
the money back for what you had to do to get the repairs. Your insurance company can go after the liable party, which would be Kenmore in this scenario.
Okay.
All right. And then you have the appraisal, which is if the insurance company and the insured disagree, they can go to appraisal to determine how much the payment is. Okay. In the state of Georgia, you cannot go to appraisal based on damage, meaning that you can have a no when it comes to appraisal. But if they do approve something, then it is about the amounts because the insurance company is taking responsibility. All right, let's see coverage. Slide 6, line of coverage in the monoline policy. Monoline was just when it was just one. It's just one. You can see down here. Um, can you see that? Let
Yes,
me.
I can see it.
No, I'm thinking my mouse.
Oh, okay.
Um, can you see that?
Yes.
Blue, the blue.
Yes.
Okay, monoline policy. So an insurance policy that covers only one type of risk. Now, if you have a homeowner's policy from somebody you know here in Georgia, we should review it together.
Okay.
And then try if you can set some up before the end of the day tomorrow, you'll be able to get that bonus for 500 bucks.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now the parts of the policy will be on the exam. For an acronym, I use the word Dunkin' Donuts, IC.
Okay.
This is so the words aren't right there. But anyway, the D is for
Mhm.
definitions. This is your declarations page. This is for auto. One,
Okay.
it's better if you do for home, but all of them are the same. You can see the policy number there. You see expiration dates, the named insureds. That's important. The first person named insured will be on the exam. Jane Smith will be there as the not the first named insured, but as a named insured. She's just not first. You'll learn more about that.
Okay.
You have the definitions, which aren't shown here. That's what the first D is for. The second D is for deductible. Then it is insuring agreement, conditions, endorsements, exclusions. You'll go over it more. Oh, it's right here. Um, but the declarations page will list these here, the
Okay.
insurance agreement, then the conditions, exclusions. So it's DICE, which is dice, but there's also definitions and then there's also endorsements. So that is why I do the Dunkin' Donuts IC because there's an extra D and an extra E. So declarations, that's what that is, declarations page. So that's what it looks like. So for everybody, you send out that text to,
Mhm.
you can know what to get from them, what it looks like. The insurance agreement is next. Conditions, requirements in the case of loss. This is the duties of the loss of the insured. You got to notify the insurer immediately. Protect from further damage, moving the vehicle or boarding up your home. Organize your personal property, separating damage from undamaged. Now, do you think the average homeowner knows to do this after a loss? Separate damage from the personal property?
No.
I don't think they ever put that in those commercials. And that's what a public adjuster will help sort through. And there's actually several companies and vendors that do that professionally. You're supposed to make a checklist again of that damaged property with details about ACV. ACV is actual cash value. You'll learn more about that. And then submit to the examination under oath if required. Uh, let's see. Then they show the insurance company the remains of damaged property, accounts, bills, invoices, and then submit proof of loss within the specified time. Exclusions, these are things not covered, like I mentioned, perils, but you'll learn more about each, the ones that are important on your course, including earthquakes, floods. You have to get separate policies. This should say warfare. Okay, government actions, so ordinance and laws, but you can buy an endorsement for that. Um, and see endorsements, and that's part of the parts of the policy. So that's why it's
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts IC. All right, insert video into there. That looks pretty cool though. DICEE again. If we're just missing the definition, so Dunkin' Donuts IC. All right, and what did you learn so
Yeah,
far?
I learned about how the insurance companies, how you have to do make sure that you're helping the customer by taking the time to go over the paperwork so they don't get so they don't lose any money.
Okay, great. What did you learn about the parts of the policy?
The parts of the policy, the main one I paid attention to was like when they supposed to separate the property damage, when we was basically saying they don't have that in any commercials. That was the main thing that I paid attention to because it's basically like false advertisement in a way.
Well, I don't know about false advertisement, but they are concealing. They are concealing it. Okay, let's go back again to the parts of the policy. We have these right here, dice, parts of the policy. Okay, so which read those four for me.
Declarations page, named insured, property location, policy period, policy premium.
Just the four at the top.
Before at the
And
top,
that
okay.
shouldn't say declarations page. It should actually say definitions, or it could say, is it, see, the other D is it, it's not declaration, deductible. That's what it is.
Okay.
Deductible, definitions,
Okay.
insuring agreement, C is conditions. Then you have endorsements and exclusions. So as an acronym, it's Dunkin' Donuts IC. All right. Cool. Let's go through the rest of these slides. This is so what you'll do is I have a video, another video that you can watch, but I recommend going through the American Professor classes, and then I'll pop that. We'll do that lesson tomorrow. So that
Okay.
timeline isn't great. So that's, yeah, that's the next timeline. Okie doke.
Okay.
All
Got you. So
right.
the America Professor, because I know something said I was supposed to download the Kahoot app,
Yeah,
and I
that's,
didn't.
you got to do that, and you want to also